I am now in Kuwait, but I want to come to the Netherlands. How can I do it? Please, I need your response. This is a question somebody wrote to me, and I saw this on my TK platform. So if you are watching this video, I'm talking to you. Now, this is exactly what you need to do. First thing first, I have been dropping videos on how I moved here, and equally I've been dropping the process. In fact, if you go back to my YT channel, you will see my videos telling you on how I moved from Cameroon to Nigeria to Benin to get a visa and then eventually move here. Now, this is what you should do if you are in Kuwait. First thing first, you need to ask yourself, which pathway are you going to use to move to the Netherlands? That is the first thing. Are you coming through work route? Are you coming through school? Are you coming as a visitor, or you are coming as a tourist? These are the things you need to ask yourself. Now, once you identify the pathway, and let me help you identify the easiest. The easiest is going to be the student pathway, but it is expensive. Now, when you've decided on the student pathway, the reason is because the others, which is the visit or tourist, is going to only land you in Aduro, because at the end of the day, you might not work legally. And then the other one, which is the job, if you really want to work here, I will advise you to come in here first as a student, because you can apply and apply and apply and keep applying for the next 5 to 10 years, especially when you don't have experience and if you are not a qualified candidate, because no company wants to really waste their money and bring any type of person in here. That's what I noticed before I moved through school. Now, once you identify the school, the next thing you need to do is you have to ask yourself, remember, you are doing this research now. Or maybe you can come through Milton. Everything is on my channel. But if you want to come through me, book an appointment with me, decide that, okay, I'm going to follow the school route. The next thing you need to do is to ask yourself, which school should I apply to? Now, the school you are going to be applying to depends on your budget. It depends on your requirements. It depends on what you want to study, right? That's what I mean. Now, this is where you ask yourself, what did I study in high school, or what did I study during my undergraduate degree level? Then you now identify which is the website I'm going to use to apply for this particular program. But you still don't know the school. You are still looking for schools. Of course, you've made a decision already. So the next thing to do is to identify the website. The website you are going to use is studyinthenetherlands.nl. Now, on that website, you are going to see schools and programs. Then you can now decide the program you want to take. Once you decide on the program you want to take, you need to click detailedly. Now, you are clicking detailedly because, like, inside, you want to go into the program. You want to see the application dates. You want to see the application deadlines, like the start date and the end date. Then you want to know if there is application fee or not. You want to know the tuition fee and how much you are going to pay. You want to look at the residence permit section, which is the immigration section, to decide or to actually know how much you are going to give to your school. If you are going to give them money, of course, blocked account, which is very common here. And then after that, you gather all those information. Then once you see the school fees, you now need to still ask yourself, now I found this program, I want to study, I want to leave Kuwait. Can I actually afford this program? You look at the money in your bank account, then that is where you are going to make a final decision after checking your bank account. Now, from your bank account, if it's not enough, you can now decide, oh, I have an uncle there, I have an auntie there, I have a brother here. Can these people actually give me some money to add to the one I have, then which can enable me move to the Netherlands? Remember, visa rate is 100%. Once you follow every detail the school is telling you, you will definitely be here. Trust me. So once you come to a conclusion, the next thing now is to follow that application dates, like the start date of the program, and then you apply for the program. Once you get admission, the next thing to do is what? Pay your school fees, sign the documents, and when your school apply for your visa, you are good to go. They will give you instructions from there. After that, you go for stamping and fingerprints. Then you pack your bags and you move to the Netherlands. I think this is all you need, and there is a lot more you can research on your own, or maybe, of course, you make an appointment with me. Netherlands process is easy because there is no legalization whatsoever, except that the school realized that, oh, these your academic credentials are not actually the documents that we want. They can then give you further instructions. But however, it's not that tedious compared to other countries like Spain. So this is what you need to leave Kuwait. My GPA is 2.74 and I would like to study in Belgium next year, September. Is there any school available for me? So this is a question somebody wrote to me, and okay, these are the things I would like to say. First thing first, if you have been listening to me on YouTube, you would have maybe gotten an answer to this. But again, let me explain to you for the benefit of doubt and those who are just coming. First thing you need to do is go to my search me on YT, watch my videos from the start to the end so you understand what you need to do. First, you need to do your research. Ask yourself, you are asking me if there is a school for you. Yes, there will be schools for you, but I do not know what you want to apply for. I do not know what you want to go in for. I don't know your budget. So the first thing you need to do is to do research on which university in Belgium can actually take you for bachelor's or master's or PhD, depending on what you are looking for. Then after you've done the research and you identify a school, okay, now you already know the name of the school. The next thing you need to know is to ask yourself, this school, can I afford the tuition? So now you need to verify how much is the tuition for the school, how much are they charging per year. Okay, once you identify the tuition, you need to also identify the requirements to apply for this particular program in that particular university, because you've identified a school, you've identified a program. So now it's for you to verify if you meet requirements, right? After meeting tuition fee. Now, I want to also draw your attention to this. When you are checking those requirements, also remember that some schools will need legalization. Some are not doing legalization anymore. Some are now doing online verification. It has a name. And I did a video about these things long time ago on my YT platform. So check from there. Now, also, after you check the requirements, you can now check when to apply for this university in Belgium. Once you know the date, when the date is closer, you now prepare your documents and submit them because you already know the documents, right? And then remember, your GPA is not a problem. If it's 2.74 on 4, it's not a problem at all. You just need to make sure you run away from those top schools which are going to, like the competitive schools in bigger cities, schools that are competitive. You already know. Research can help you identify all these details. Now, all these things. Now, when you already know that, you apply, right? Once you get admission, the next thing to do is to pay your tuition fee, and then you prepare for visa application. If there is legalization, you do it. If there is physical legalization or online legalization or whichever way you have to make your documents authentic, you do it. Then also, if there is tuition fee to be paid, you do it. Then you kickstart your visa process. Visa process entails a lot. You need documents as well. You gather the documents, then proof of funds, you prepare it. You also need to check if the university is accepting maybe a bank statement, or you have to do a blocked account or anything related. Then after that, you apply for your visa. Then you move to Belgium. Remember, one last advice I will tell you before I go. I am somebody, I always tell my people, okay, my family on here, you people, my family, I always tell you guys in my videos that do not put in for just one application, because admissions is competitive now. If you really want to get a spot, you need to be super smart. Now, super smart here means that you apply to Belgium, maybe apply for a school in Ghent, apply for another one in Brussels, apply into Antwerp, maybe in other cities, okay, in as much as the documents that you have are the requirements the school or the program is asking you. Make sure you spread your tentacles. Now, then after that, if you can also spread your tentacles outside of Belgium, that will be good. Research can help you identify all these loopholes. I hope you understand. So this is what you basically need to do in order to find yourself in Belgium next year. Most of you are asking me, oh, Milton, we want you to help us move to the Netherlands. I've seen this question occurring many times, and let me address something here real quick so that all of us can be d'accord with it. Okay, I'm going to give you some points that if you follow those points, you can basically be here next year, September. Now, the first thing I want to say is, as I'm sharing this video here, I also have a YT channel, okay, where I share longer versions of my videos. And if you go to that YT channel, listen to me very well to the end, you are going to benefit a lot, and you can actually do the process yourself. But if you cannot do it yourself, then what you need to do is to make an appointment with me. Then we talk from there. If you check my bio, you are going to see, or the description box, you are going to see every detail about that and links to follow and come to me directly. Now, let me say these things here. The Netherlands is not a cheap country. It is very expensive. So if you are thinking of moving here, you should be ready financially. If you yourself do the research, you would notice that most universities here cost a lot. They charge a lot. Now, yesterday I was talking to somebody one on one, and she was like, "Milton, I'm looking for something for 5,000 euros." No, you cannot have a school year for 5,000 euros. That will charge you like that amount for 1 year. It's not possible. So please do not forget all of this. It is expensive. That's the second thing here is accommodation is a problem as I'm talking to you now. So if you are making plans of moving here next year, please put budget into consideration, put money into accommodation, like save money for accommodation aside your tuition fee, your living cost, your insurance, and your visa application fee. All right, save money also for your accommodation. And I want to let you know that there is something called government subsidies, or let me say, if you happen to take accommodation with the school hostel, I do not know if it happens in every institution in this country, but if you manage, because the problem is usually the deposit. So if you manage to take accommodation with the school hostel, the government pays part and you pay part, and it's usually around, I think, 50-50. I'm not very certain, but again, ask your university about this. All right. Now, another thing is, if you are coming here for studies, you have to be patient. Before you pick a bachelor's program, understand that BSc here is like 4 years, and MSc is like 1 year or 2 years. It now depends on what you want to select. Now, those of you asking about HND qualifying, I do not think so. Make sure you ask your university and check the school requirements or the program requirement you want to apply to, because you cannot assume. Somebody was telling me, oh, somebody told her that. And I said, okay, go to studyinthenetherlands.nl and check if it's actually true. So if you are planning to move here next year, understand that you have to check requirements before you apply for programs, so that at the end of the day you don't get like dumped, right? When I mean dumped, I mean not getting admission. So look into that very well. And again, if you are moving here as a student, you have to remember that you need to study very hard in order to pass your exams. The only way to remain here if you come in as a student is to pass your exams, qualify for the next year, or maybe graduate. Then you can now sail through with orientation year, then maybe find a job. Then after that, you remain in here. But if you come here and you are like, oh, I want to drop and take Aduro, it's going to disturb you. This is my genuine advice. Then another thing is, there are rumors that so many policies are changing, and it's not about the Netherlands alone, it's about the entire EU. So if you intend to move to Europe, make sure you verify. You need to know where you want to go. Actually, you need to know where you want to go. Don't be jumping from Italy, jumping to Spain, jumping to Netherlands, jumping to Austria. Some of you don't even know that you have to actually legalize your documents before you can apply for schools in Austria. Some don't know that the same thing occurs with Portugal. However, what I'm trying to say is, just make sure that you have all your credentials ready. Then you already know where your focus is, so that you strike in that direction. At the end of the day, you can get results. Because if you keep jumping from A to B to C to Z, at the end of the day, you are not going to get any results. Put this into consideration. So I think that is all you need for now. Again, if you need me, one-on-one is the best thing to do, because most of the time I do not check DMs.